already. A little revolution stickers. I came across a few of those. Very nice, very cool. From 2009.
I stopped looking at my socks.
Okay, great. Thank you. So we're going to get into the ballot question portion of the meeting. Like I said, we're going to start with question 4 first because we do have a gentleman who needs to depart while the train's still available. So first we're going to have up on question 4, Bill Vernon from the National Federation of Independent Businesses. Did I get that correct? Great. Tell me about I'm sorry.
Before we get into the questions, tipper waitress and donation jar?
Yes. We have a donation jar. No, we
bartender.
Oh, the bartender does.
And Bill, I still appreciate the endorsement back in 2010.
Was then? 2010. Yes.
Yes. When I ran against Marty Walls.
That's always a good point. Always take care of our waitress. We love it here, and we like to come back as many times as possible. Take care of the waitress. We do pay for the room typically, so if you just put in maybe $5, that'd be great. Nothing, it's nothing too crazy here, but
those are two separate things.
Two separate things, yes, two separate things. And also, we're going to try and hold it to roughly 10 minutes for talk, and then questions afterwards. So, Bill.
Pardon the glasses. My name is Bill Vernon. I'm the head of the National Federation of Independent Business. I don't know if all of you know about that, but we represent small businesses in Massachusetts. We have about 8,000 members.
The Un-Chamber of Commerce.
I call them the Leave Me Alone Coalition.
Definitely the Un-Chamber of Commerce.
And they enjoy, our goal is to protect their right to own, operate, and grow their businesses. The only requirement to be a member of NFIB is to be an independent business owner. You're not sold publicly. But most of our members are about average of 5 workers. And half of them, or a little less than half, are 1s and 2s. So you can, they are small businesses, and they contribute a lot. They employ people. They contribute to their community, and I'm very proud to represent them. We also have a system whereby they vote on what issues we should be involved in. The members, I pretend that I'm Bill Galvin every year and draw up a ballot of issues that I think might be coming up in the legislature and ask the members what they think. And based on that, we're involved actually in, we issued our support on 3 questions this year. It's yes on 1, no on 2, and no on 4. We do not take a position on the casinos. Frankly, our membership's pretty split on it, and not only in Massachusetts but around the country, so we don't take a position on the casino issue. But I'm here tonight to speak on 4. No on 4, that's the mandated paid sick leave issue. It is a underfunded campaign. There are a few of us, though, who think that we owe it to our small business members and the Retail Association and the Restaurant Association and NFIB. We owe it to our members to get out there and do whatever we can to tell people honestly about what's in that question. It is far and away the most complicated question on the ballot, in that there are a lot of issues that everybody is for paid sick leave, but there are a lot of issues involved in the particular ballot question, and I'd like to, if I could, go through a few of the complications. As I said, most employers already offer some sort of time off for full-time employees. This mandate would apply to all employees, including part-timers and seasonal workers, including the 16-year-old working in his first job, the UMass student working in a cafeteria would, after 30 hours of work, be entitled to 1 hour of paid sick leave from the taxpayers of Massachusetts. It should be sick days and not sick hours. I'm sorry, it should be sick hours and not sick days. You can take this sick time in 1 or 2 hour increments, which in the restaurant business is very disconcerting, because you can get to the end of the shift, somebody can say I'm sick and leave 2 hours early. It is not paid sick days. If there is a paid family leave component to this, you can take time off for your own illness, but you can also take time off to care for a family member, child, parent, anybody who lives in the household. As I say, right now, part-time employees work these things out, especially in small businesses all across the state and across the country. We've worked these things out over the years, and part-timers through shift swapping in restaurants and working it out with their supervisor. These things have been worked out in the past, and there's no reason to have a state law that mandates something different. As I said, service industries are most affected by this. Restaurants, retail industry is affected by this. One of the industries, I was on a radio talk show the other day, and a person called up. They have a home care agency. They receive some subsidies from the state of Massachusetts. And she, business owner, told me that she couldn't see how her business would survive if she had to give paid sick time, given the contract that the state of Massachusetts has provided to her. So there is an impact, a definite impact, whether it be a student at UMass working in the cafeteria or a home care agency. There's a definite impact on the taxpayers of Massachusetts. This would be the most comprehensive paid sick time law in the country. And by the way, you'll hear another language. The proponents of this have been able to put on the ballot the term earned sick time. That loses 10 points in the polls right there when we tested it, the term earned sick time. But this would be the most comprehensive mandated paid sick time law in the country. California has one. It only allows 3 sick days, and it does not apply to the government. So all that taxpayer impact was taken out before it passed the legislature in California. In Connecticut, it applies to companies with more than 50 employees, and applies only to the service industry, however liberally that is defined in Connecticut. So this would apply to every company in Massachusetts. Over 11 employees is paid sick time, under 11 is unpaid sick time. But still, for the smaller companies, the administrative problems of trying to deal with keeping track of paid sick time will be very heavy indeed. PTO, paid time off. That's the progressive new way that companies give time off. The business owner does not ask whether or not you're sick, whether or not you're on vacation, whether or not you're at your school, at your child's play. It doesn't matter. You have so many days paid time off. This question would call into question that progressive situation. My companies don't have HR departments to try to figure this all out, but there is a provision in the law that says that if you have provisions better than 5 days paid sick time, then you're exempt from the law. My question is, what if you have 10 paid time off, 10 days of paid time off? Is that better than 5 paid sick days? I don't know. I suppose some lawyer was going to challenge that somewhere, sometime. And here we go, another cost on small business. Actually, this really comes down to, from the way I look at it, and from what I hear from our members, is it goes to the very core of what it means to take the risk to build your own business and to run it. It goes to the very core of deciding how you're going to pay your employees. This will cost money. The proponents of this law know it will cost money, otherwise they wouldn't have put that exemption into the small businesses. So it's going to cost money, and it's going to cost workers. It's going to cost workers in terms of wages, vacation time, health care benefits, retirement benefits. It's going to have to come out somewhere. And we have enough Massachusetts regulations and laws that make it, I call them the Massachusetts only laws, and we have enough of those. And we just cannot afford another. Small business owners in Massachusetts have just about had it, and this is something that we must vote no on. When the voters understand the complications of this and get beyond the first initial, oh, that's a great idea portion, there's no question that they'll vote no. So we're working at it. We're trying to put those questions out there so that the voters understand the problems and the complications. Try to get this back into the legislature where we can deal with some of the concerns of the small business owners in Massachusetts.
Questions?
Who's behind?
Yeah, go ahead.
Who is behind? Who's for it, or who are the backers?
Service employees and national union.
Of course.
The usual suspects.
Raise Up Massachusetts. Raise Up Massachusetts. Yeah, same people who push the highest minimum wage law in the country.
And so what? Meaning, what's their end goal here? What are they? You know, is it just progressive? There's more and more to take away from businesses.
Yeah, it's progressive. It's something. It was never brought up in the legislature this year, and except for a hearing and this hung in committee. I think they knew that they wanted to put it on the ballot, and so that's what they've done, and they want to use it for political reasons, so candidates can run on it. It's something that they're pretty sure that the voters will vote for, and so that's the whole purpose of it. I had somebody say, today they were wondering whether or not the unions will have anything to do after this is over. Well, the answer to that is yes, they'll have something to do. I have some ideas about what they're going to do and what they're going to push on. One of them is a bullying law, but in the workplace. But there's some other things they'll push on. There'll be plenty for them to do. If we give this to them in the ballot, they'll have an agenda.
If the bill passed, businesses would be forced to keep records of accrued sick time. Would they be forced to pay and give that sick time out even if it's unused?
There is a carryover, but they cannot carry over more than 5 days. They can't carry over more than 40 hours. You cannot accrue.
You can't carry it over for a year or something for an entire.
You cannot accrue more than 40 hours of sick time.
Okay, but you can't. At the end of the year, do you get it out as days that you either take off if you're not sick, or you get paid for those days anyways?
You're supposed to be sick.
You're supposed to be sick.
How that's going
but
to be
you could care for somebody else who's sick and not be sick, right?
Right.
Or
You
be
could care for somebody else.
part-time worker or seasonal worker, or even an illegal alien or a homeless person with a job, right? Lots of people like that too. So.
Yeah.
All right.
All employees in
really
Massachusetts
difficult, right? Yeah.
Brad.
Bill, do you think part of the reason that the unions are so much behind, so supportive of this, is that even though they all make over minimum wage, most of their contracts are written that their minimum wage, their union wage, is a multiple of the minimum wage?
When I graduated from law school, I would answer the question. When I graduated from law school, before I became a state rep, director of the party, the Republican Party, and other things, and got the current job, I was a lawyer in a law firm that represented public employees. Principal client was the Boston Police Patrolmen's Association.
So your confession is good for the
My
soul.
confession is good. My feeling is that unions will get at the ballot box or in the legislature anything they can so they don't have to negotiate it at the bargaining table. That's the way it's done. I know that's the way it's done. I've been there. So.
Do you think the average voter knows that? And is that important to get out?
Well, it is important to get out. I don't think in discussing the campaign strategy with the restaurants and my partners in this effort, I think it's important to get out right now some of the doubts and to raise the doubts about the particular bill. We're not here, I don't think, at this point in time to fight the unions or try to change public opinion about the unions. It's not going to happen in the next month. So our job right now is to try to create some doubts about the particular aspects of this bill that go too far. I think there was a campaign like that on the question that goes too far a few years ago. It was very successful. So, yeah.
How much of a long-term strategy do you think the unions have in this sense? Union activity, and this actually even counts partly with public unions, because public unions have to deal with the alternative of private contractors. Unions place their members in their industries at a competitive disadvantage with non-unionized businesses, economic activities. But if the government can impose the burdens that the unions are demanding on non-union employers, they can level the playing field competitively. Do you think that's any part of their strategy?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, they want to...
So they want to put their competition out of business, basically. Okay, by making the government make their business plans non-viable.
One of the things that is successful in this state and have been unsuccessful in exporting to other states is our independent contractor law, which you may or may not be familiar with. It makes it almost impossible to be a legal independent contractor in Massachusetts. So again, that's an attempt to, by requiring people to provide all the benefits, workers' comp, unemployment insurance, to every worker. So it becomes a that's the strategy in issue after issue if you look underneath the overall.
Okay.
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 Thanks for taking me out of turn.
No problem.
I'll go to the tea.
You don't have to leave.